You ever meet somebody who just seems ready to hate you? Like it's their full-time hobby? Yeah, that's my neighbor, Karen. And listen, I don't throw the word Karen around lightly, but if the shoe fits, she's wearing it. And probably calling the manager about it too. I live in one of those picture-perfect suburban neighborhoods. The kind where every lawn looks like a golf course, every mailbox matches, and the HOA sends threatening letters if your trash can is out for more than 3 minutes. I bought my house a couple years back. Quiet spot, mostly good folks, enough space for my golden retriever Biscuit. And let me tell you about Biscuit. Biscuit isn't just a dog. He's my best friend, my jogging partner, my stress relief after a long day, the type of dog that somehow makes everyone smile. Kids, mailmen, even grumpy old neighbors. But to Karen, Biscuit was a criminal, a menace, public enemy number one. It all started on a Saturday morning. Sun was out, birds were chirping, I had my coffee in one hand, Biscuit's neon green leash in the other. We're strolling down the sidewalk, minding our business. Then slam! Karen's front door swings open so hard it rattles, and out comes Karen herself. Now picture this, arms crossed, lips pursed tighter than a jar lid, marching down her driveway like she's about to shut down a crime scene. "Excuse me," she barks. "Your dog barked last night, loud, repeatedly. I have it on record." On record? Like she's running the CIA of dog noise. I look down at Biscuit. He's sitting there, tongue out, tail wagging, looking like the literal definition of good boy. Dogs bark sometimes," I reply. "It's kinda what they do." Big mistake. Karen gasps like I just confessed to arson. She tilts her head, folds her arms even tighter, and delivers the line. "Well, my dog never barks. Never. He's disciplined, perfect, unlike some people's animals." And the way she said, "some people," with that little pause, I felt it. It wasn't just about Biscuit. It was about me, a black man in a neighborhood where I can count us on one hand. That look she gave me, I'd seen it before. The one that says, "You don't belong here." Not really. But I smiled anyway. I'll keep an eye on him. And right then, Biscuit sneezed, loud, right in her direction. I swear it was like the dog version of flipping someone off. From that day forward, Karen made it her mission to complain. Monday, she corners me while I'm grabbing the mail. "Your dog shed fur near my driveway, blonde fur. Took me 30 minutes to sweep." Wednesday, she claims Biscuit's tail brushed against her azalea bush. "Now it's ruined forever," she says. Pretty sure the bush looked exactly the same. Friday, she accuses Biscuit of staring at her cat too aggressively. Yeah, staring. But here's the thing. Other people's dogs barked. Other people's dogs dug holes. Other people's dogs left little presents in the grass. Karen never said a word to them. It was only me, only Biscuit. And the way she phrased it, "People like you don't take rules seriously. This neighborhood has standards. Maybe where you come from, it's fine, but not here. Where I come from." She didn't have to spell it out. I heard the undertone, and it stung. But I smiled anyway. "I'll keep an eye on him," I said. And right then, Biscuit sneezed. And the funniest part, for all her bragging about how perfect her dog was, I never even saw the thing. Not once. Not a bark, not a paw, nothing. She made him sound like a Harvard graduate, fluent in 3 languages, could probably file her taxes. Meanwhile, Biscuit sneezed once, and suddenly he's a terrorist. Until one night, Biscuit and I are walking past her backyard. The sun's going down, shadows stretching across the fence, and then I hear it. A low, mean growl. Biscuit stops dead, ears perked, tail stiff. Then bam! A massive paw slams the top of Karen's 6-foot privacy fence, claws scratching wood, the whole panel shakes. And then comes the bark. Loud, deep, aggressive. Nothing like the never barks angel Karen bragged about. I yanked Biscuit's leash. We kept moving. But in my head, I was laughing. So much for perfect. Next morning, she's waiting for me again. But this time, she's holding a clipboard. She struts over like she's about to issue a parking ticket. "I've been documenting your dog's behavior," she announced. "And if it continues, I'll have no choice but to file a formal complaint with the HOA. I wanted to laugh so bad. What's she gonna do? Take Biscuit to court? The Canine Supreme Court? But I didn't laugh. Because in neighborhoods like these, one person with a clipboard and a bias can make your life miserable. And then she leans closer, drops her voice. "Unlike your mutt, my dog is disciplined. You should take notes." Right on cue, Biscuit licks my shoe. Didn't help my case at all. I told myself, don't engage, don't stoop to her level, just live your life. But if I'd known what was coming, if I'd known what her so-called perfect dog was about to do, I wouldn't have just ignored her. I would have pulled up a lawn chair, grabbed a bucket of popcorn, and waited. Because the next part of this story, Karen's entire world of lies and double standards, was about to collapse. And trust me, it was glorious.
If you thought that clipboard phase was bad, oh, buckle up. Because the complaints were just the appetizer. The main course? That was pure 5-star Karen-level chaos. So here's the deal. Most neighbors, if they've got a problem, they talk it out. Maybe leave a note. Maybe roll their eyes and move on. Not Karen. Karen turned her beef with me into a campaign, a full-on crusade. And step 1, recruit the HOA. I come home from work one afternoon, and sitting in my mailbox is a letter. Stamped official, HOA logo at the top. I open it up, and wow. Dear homeowner, it has been brought to our attention that your dog has been causing a repeated nuisance within the neighborhood. They listed out everything: barking, shedding, tail wagging too close to private property. I kid you not, tail wagging. And at the bottom, if these behaviors persist, fines may be issued. I sat on my porch with Biscuit lying at my feet, reading this thing out loud. He just looked up at me yawning like, bruh, what even is this nonsense? Next week, HOA meeting. I walk in, and there she is, Karen, sitting in the front row, arms folded, smug smile on her face, like she's the star witness at some trial. She actually brought a folder, photos, notes, even an audio recording on her phone. She hits play, and sure enough, you hear barking. But guess what? It wasn't Biscuit. Her evidence was just barking. Could have been any dog on the block. Heck, could have been a sound effect from YouTube. And yet, she sat there, nodding proudly like she'd just cracked Watergate. When they asked if I wanted to respond, I kept it simple. Biscuit's a golden retriever. He doesn't even bark that much. If you want, I can show you videos of him literally sleeping for 20 hours a day. A few of the neighbors chuckled. One lady even whispered, "Yeah, her dog barks all the time. I hear it through my fence." Karen's head whipped around so fast, you'd think someone just cursed in church. She snapped, "Excuse me? My dog never barks. He is perfectly trained." Perfectly trained. She said it like a catchphrase, like she was selling him on QVC. From then on, Karen's tactics shifted. She started lurking. I'd catch her peeking through her blinds whenever I walked Biscuit. She started filming us with her phone. One time, she even followed us halfway down the block, muttering into her camera like she was recording evidence for CSI Suburban Edition. And then the comments got nastier. She'd lean over her fence as I watered my lawn. You know, people like you don't respect rules. You should be grateful this neighborhood lets you live here. It wasn't about Biscuit anymore. Not really. It was about me. The dog was just her excuse. And one evening, I'm tossing a ball in my front yard with Biscuit. He's sprinting, catching, tail wagging, happy dog stuff. Karen storms over. And this time, she doesn't even fake politeness. You need to control your mutt. He's a danger. And frankly, I don't feel safe with your kind of dog here. Your kind of dog. But the way she looked at me when she said it, we both knew what she meant. My chest tightened. I clenched my fists, but I kept calm. Karen, I said slowly, he's a literal catching a fence ball. And then Biscuit, bless his goofy heart, plopped the ball right at her feet, sat down, tail wagging. The look on her face, priceless. And right as she opens her mouth to retort, that's when it happened. A sound from her yard. A low, sharp bark. Then another. Karen froze, eyes wide, because for the first time, her perfect dog revealed himself. And let me tell you, this wasn't some little angel. This dog came barreling out of her backyard, slammed against the fence so hard it rattled, snarling and barking like he hadn't eaten in days. Biscuit's ears shot up. He stared, tail stiff, but didn't make a sound. Meanwhile, Karen spun around, flailing her arms. Oh, he's just excited. Not dangerous, just playful. Playful? Yeah. Nothing says playful like trying to break through a fence with your teeth. And that's when it hit me. All those weeks, all those complaints, all that posturing about her perfect dog, she was hiding something. Her dog wasn't an angel. He was a nightmare, and she knew it. So she projected all that onto me and Biscuit. Because it was easier to attack us than admit her own backyard was a ticking bomb time. And right then, I made a decision. I wasn't going to just take this anymore. No more smiling politely. No more letting her weaponize the HOA. Karen had fired the first shots. But now it was my turn. Because I knew something she didn't know. Something that was about to expose her whole charade. And trust me, when the truth came out, she was not ready.
So, remember how Karen swore her dog was perfect? Yeah, about that. Because what happened next made me realize just how dangerous her little secret really was. It started one morning. I'm sipping coffee on my porch, Biscuit snoring by my feet, when I hear it. That bark. Deep. Harsh. Too close. I glance up, and there he is. Karen's angel. Only this time, he wasn't behind her fence. No. Her gate had swung open, and he was in the street. Now, Biscuit, he's a lover, not a fighter. But when he saw that dog, ears pinned back, teeth bared, his whole body pensed. And before I could react, Karen's dog charged, straight at us. Claws scraping asphalt, snarling like something out of a nightmare. I jumped up, yanking Biscuit's leash back, heart pounding in my chest. Karen came running out, shrieking his name. "Stop! No! He's just excited!" Excited? Lady, your dog looks like he's auditioning for Cujo. I planted myself between Biscuit and the beast, arms out, trying to keep him back. But this wasn't excitement. This was aggression, pure and simple. Thank God for one of my neighbors. Old Mr. Jenkins across the street? Yeah, the guy who waters his lawn like 5 times a day. He saw the whole thing, and without hesitation, he grabbed his garden hose, cranked it full blast, and sprayed Karen's dog right in the face. The dog yelped, staggered back, and finally, Karen managed to drag him by the collar. She was breathless, flustered, but you know what she said? "Sorry, he's just protective. It's not his fault. He's never like this." Never like this. Sure, Karen, because my porch, my coffee, and my golden retriever somehow triggered his one bad day. Right. Now, here's the kicker. After that whole fiasco, Karen didn't apologize to me, didn't check if Biscuit was okay, didn't even acknowledge Mr. Jenkins, who just saved the day with nothing but a hose. Instead, she doubled down. 2 days later, another HOA letter, this time accusing Biscuit of provoking her dog. Provoking! The dude was literally napping when her beast came charging. It was insane. And that's when I snapped. No more letting Karen twist the story. No more sitting back while she painted Biscuit as the problem. If she wanted to play games, fine. I'd play back. So I bought something. A little gadget, a home security system. With cameras, motion sensors, audio recording. I put one on my porch, one in the yard, and one pointing directly at the street where she usually lurked. If Karen wanted evidence, I'd give her evidence. It didn't take long. Just 3 nights later, my camera caught it. Karen, out in the street, walking her dog. He lunged at another neighbor's kid. A little girl riding her bike. Karen yanked him back at the last second, laughing nervously, telling the parents, "Oh, don't worry, he's harmless." Harmless! Meanwhile, my footage showed the dog baring his teeth, snapping inches from the kid's leg. And suddenly, it wasn't just my problem anymore. A next HOA meeting, I came prepared. I walked in, Biscuit calm at my side, and hooked my phone to the projector. Since we're talking about neighborhood dogs, maybe everyone should see this. I hit play. And there it was. Karen's perfect pet, caught in 1080p, looking like a wild animal about to attack a child. Gasps around the room, whispers, Karen's face turning redder than a stop sign. She jumped up, screaming over the footage. "That's not fair! He was startled! You're targeting me! You're all against me because of him!" And she pointed right at me. The room went dead silent. Because it wasn't just about dogs anymore. She was making it personal, ugly. And everyone knew it. The HOA president cleared his throat. Karen, we've had multiple complaints about your dog, and now we have clear video evidence. If this continues, we'll have no choice but to escalate for the safety of the neighborhood. Karen's jaw dropped. For the first time since this whole nightmare began, she realized the tide had turned. She wasn't the hero anymore. She was the problem. But the crazy part? That was just the beginning. Because Karen wasn't about to back down. Nope. If anything, this made her more dangerous. And the stunt she pulled next, let's just say, it turned the entire neighborhood into a battlefield.
So, you'd think after getting exposed at the HOA meeting, Karen would back off, right? Wrong. If anything, that humiliation lit a fire under her. And suddenly, this wasn't just about dogs anymore. It was war. The flyers. Yeah. Karen went door to door, stuffing every mailbox in the neighborhood with a bright yellow paper that read, "Dangerous Dog Alert." And guess whose picture she plastered right in the middle? Biscuit. My sweet, lazy golden retriever who spends half his life rolling on his back begging for belly rubs. She actually stole one of the photos from my Facebook, printed it out like he was on America's Most Wanted. Unbelievable. Next thing I know, people are whispering. Some neighbors believed her, some didn't. But Karen was loud, persistent. Every morning, every evening, she'd march down the street with her perfect dog, telling anyone who'd listen that Biscuit was a menace. "He barked all night last week. He lunged at my dog. He frightens the children." All lies. But lies, repeated enough times, they start to sound real. I wasn't about to let her win the narrative. So I started my own little campaign. Every time I saw a neighbor, I made sure Biscuit was with me. Calm, gentle, tail wagging like a metronome. "Go ahead," I'd say. "Pet him." And one by one, the kids, the parents, even the mailman, they all saw the truth. Biscuit wasn't dangerous. Karen's dog was. And then came the day everything changed. It was a Saturday, sunny, perfect. The neighborhood kids had gathered for a bike race, zooming up and down the cul-de-sac, parents chatting on their lawns. I was out front, Biscuit lying in the grass, when I heard it. A scream. I spun around just in time to see Karen's dog. Loose again. Charging straight at the pack of kids. Parents shrieked, kids scattered, bikes clattered to the pavement. The dog lunged at a boy in a red helmet, snapping at his ankle. Thank God the kid jumped back in time. But Karen, she was nowhere to be seen. By the time she came running out, her dog had already terrorized half the cul-de-sac. It took 3 grown men to wrangle him back. One of them even got his sleeve ripped open in the process. Now let me tell you, that was the moment the neighborhood turned. No more whispers, no more giving Karen the benefit of the doubt. Everyone saw it with their own eyes. Her dog was dangerous. And suddenly, I wasn't the guy with the problem dog anymore. I was the guy who'd been right all along. But Karen, she didn't take it well. She came storming across the street that night, screaming at me in front of half the block. "This is your fault! You've poisoned everyone against me! You're trying to destroy my reputation!" Her face was red, spit flying from her mouth, her dog straining at the leash like a demon on a chain. And all I could do was laugh. Because deep down she knew the truth. And the truth scared her more than anything. Sure enough, the very next day, blue lights flashed outside her house. Animal control. Police. The reports had piled up, too many complaints, too many near misses, and this time, they weren't here for me. I watched from my porch as they knocked on her door, clipboard in hand. Karen argued, she cried, she gestured wildly towards my house, but it didn't matter. They gave her a warning. One more incident, and her perfect dog would be taken away. That should have been the end of it. But with Karen, oh no. That night, she stood at the edge of my driveway, eyes locked on mine, and hissed, "This isn't over. You'll regret this." And in that moment, I believed her. Because the look in her eyes, it wasn't just anger. It was obsession. I thought the worst was behind me, that Karen had finally been put in her place. But I was wrong. Because what she did next crossed every line imaginable. And it didn't just put Biscuit in danger. It put me in danger.
Up until now, Karen's war had been about dogs, whispers, flyers, drama. But after animal control showed up at her house, she snapped. And suddenly, this wasn't about Biscuit anymore. This was about me. It started small. One morning, I walked out to find my trash cans tipped over, garbage scattered across the driveway. Now, raccoons? Sure, that happens. But the lid was neatly placed on my porch, like someone wanted me to know it wasn't an accident. Then came the notes, crumpled pieces of paper stuffed under my door. "People like you don't belong here. You'll never fit in. Take your dog and leave." No signature, but the handwriting? Ugly, jagged, desperate. And I knew exactly whose it was. Karen's mask had slipped. She wasn't hiding behind the HOA anymore. She was coming for me, directly. But the worst part? The setup. See, one night, I came home from work, Biscuit trotting happily at my side, and there they were. 2 animal control officers, waiting. "Sir, we got a report your dog attacked someone tonight." I froze, because Biscuit had been with me the entire evening. I told them as much, showed them the time-stamped selfie I'd sent my sister an hour earlier. Biscuit passed out on the couch, snoring like a freight train. The officers exchanged a look. They knew. They'd been played. Someone had filed a false report, and we all knew who that someone was. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every creak of the house, every rustle outside the window, I wondered if Karen was out there, watching, plotting. She'd gone from nuisance to stalker. And I'll be real with you, for the first time in this whole saga, I was scared. But here's the thing about people like Karen. They don't know when to stop. And eventually, they push too far. Because when word got around about the false report, the neighbors had enough. The Johnsons across the street, they put up a security camera aimed right at Karen's yard. The kid in the red helmet, his parents filed an official complaint with the HOA. And slowly, the community that once whispered behind my back started to rally around me. But Karen wasn't done. Oh no. One morning, I found raw meat scattered across my front lawn. Not steak, not hamburger, but chicken, uncooked, and sprinkled with something white. My stomach dropped. Poison. She was trying to poison Biscuit. That was it. That was the line. I marched across the street, heart pounding in my chest, and pounded on her door. She opened it, smirk already plastered on her face. "You should really clean up your yard," she said, like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. "Cut the act, Karen. You're trying to kill my dog now?"
Her eyes glittered, and for a split second, she didn't deny it. Instead, she leaned closer and whispered, "You can't prove anything." And then, she shut the door in my face. I was shaking with rage, but I knew charging in headfirst would get me nowhere. I needed proof. So that night, I set up my own cameras. One aimed at the front yard, one hidden near the trash cans, and one aimed straight across the street. If Karen wanted a war, fine, I'd give her one. But this time, I'd have the receipts. I didn't know it then, but those cameras were about to capture something that would change everything. Not just for me, not just for Biscuit, but for Karen. Because what she did next, it didn't just cross a line. It shattered it.
They say the truth always comes out. And in Karen's case, it came out in high definition. The very first night my cameras were rolling, I caught her. 2 a.m., Karen creeping across my lawn, plastic bag in hand. She crouched low, pulled something out of the bag, and started scattering it through the grass. Raw meat. And not just meat. The glow of the camera caught her shaking something over it. Powder. Poison. Biscuit, asleep inside, never knew how close he came. The next morning, I downloaded the footage. And let me tell you, watching Karen's smug little face illuminated in that night vision lens, it was the most satisfying thing I'd ever seen. Because finally, I had proof. The neighborhood meeting. I didn't go to the police right away. No, I called another neighborhood meeting. If Karen wanted an audience, she was about to get one. The cul-de-sac was packed. Folding chairs, parents, kids, everyone buzzing, waiting for the fireworks. Karen strutted in late, dog tugging at the leash, chin held high like she was untouchable. "Are we really doing this again?" she sneered. "Can we please stop wasting everyone's time?" I didn't even answer. I just pressed play. The gasps. On the screen, Karen appeared in grainy green night vision. The crowd gasped. There she was, tiptoeing across my lawn, spreading poison. One parent clapped a hand over their kid's mouth. Another muttered, "Oh my God." Karen's face drained of color. Her smugness melted into panic. "That's not me! It's edited, fake!" But the Johnsons piped up from the back. "Funny, our camera caught the exact same thing. Different angle." And just like that, her house of cards collapsed. The meltdown. Karen snapped. "I'm the victim here. He's been harassing me since day one. This whole neighborhood is against me because of him." Her voice cracked, wild, desperate, but no one was buying it anymore. The whispers that used to follow me, they followed her now. Monster, dangerous, unhinged. The authorities stepped in. Within 24 hours, animal control was back. Only this time, they didn't just give a warning. Her dog was taken. And not long after, the police came knocking too. False reports, harassment, attempted animal cruelty. It all stacked up. And Karen, the self-proclaimed queen of the cul-de-sac, was escorted out in handcuffs. The aftermath. The neighborhood felt different after that. Lighter, safer. The flyers disappeared. The whispers stopped. And Biscuit? Well, he went back to being the king of belly rubs. Happy, carefree, alive. Because weed stopped her in time. My reflection. You know, I think about it sometimes. How close Karen came to winning. how far she was willing to go just because she couldn't stand the sight of me or my dog. And yeah, part of it was Biscuit. But the other part? The color of my skin. She thought she could twist the story, turn the neighborhood against me, erase me from the block. But in the end, her own hate destroyed her. So here's the lesson I learned. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And if that someone is a Karen, well, make sure you've got cameras rolling. Because the truth, it doesn't just set you free. Sometimes, it takes them down.